There's a couple things about notation that I want you to be aware of. That way you can focus on the concept of a derivative rather than being confused by the notation. So there's a couple different forms of notation. The reason for this is there were different people studying the concept of a derivative at the same time. So they both developed their own way of notating. I'm fairly certain it was Leibniz and Newton. Okay, and I can't remember anymore which one's which, but they were both simultaneously developing the concept of a derivative. So one of them liked to use this notation, f prime of x. And it stuck around because it's fairly useful when you're using function notation. However, when you're not using function notation and you've got something that looks like this, y equals, then the f prime notation doesn't really hold anymore, so we need a different type. So let's look at this one first. This is read f prime of x and is used for function notation. So in this example here, you would simply say that your answer is f prime of x equals, and then dot dot dot, whatever you come up with. However, if you have something that looks like this, y equals 3x plus 4, then to do the derivative, you're going to need to use this kind of notation. And it is read the derivative of y with respect to x. Or a lot of mathematicians will shortcut it to dy over dx. But what it really means is the derivative of y with respect to x. And that's important whenever you have two variables. You need to know what the derivative is and with respect to what. And this is used for y equals equations. So over here, whenever we would do the notation, we would denote it by saying the derivative of y with respect to x equals, and then whatever you come up with. Now sometimes you don't have f of x equals or y equals, but perhaps you have a different variable, say s and t. Well, it's going to work very similar to this. Whatever is your dependent variable is going to be the one that you're taking the derivative of. So this would be ds over dt, the derivative of s with respect to t, your independent variable. And then whatever your derivative is, you'd write it there. So that's the notation. If you ever get confused on it, just come back to this video and watch it again.